Hi there, everybody, and thanks for joining us on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree, coming to you from the KXAN Live studio on this Tuesday morning. We appreciate you joining us for this live conversation that it's about to begin. But first, wanted to let you all look at this live picture from downtown Austin. We've got a lot of cloud coverage today, and just want to let you know about some rain chances. They're going to move in this afternoon. If you want those full forecast details about timing and the impacts, go to our website right now, kxan.com, and check out the KXAN News and weather mobile apps for that information. But wanted to turn really quickly to a story and a series of projects that are unveiling this week. It's a 14-part series that is investigating TxTag troubles. And one of the stories that is a part of that project that is really trending right now on our website is this one right here. The headline reads, "Still happening. Top TxTag complaints detail double billing, website glitches." The reporter behind this particular investigation is one of our investigative journalists, Kelly Wiley, and she is joining us here this morning to talk more about her reporting. Kelly, thank you for being here and taking the time today. We do appreciate it.
Hi, Will. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always a good day to start whenever you are joining me, so I do appreciate that too. Your story really begins focusing on this one TxTag user who noticed some of the double billing happening on his own. Talk about what he shared with you whenever you did this story.
Well, this viewer in particular had actually been watching our series from years ago about issues that were happening with TxTag. And as a result of that, he started to take a closer look at his account. He started going on regularly and looking at the billing statements from the different toll exchanges that he had been making, he and his wife. And he said, sure enough, he was starting to see the same things that we'd reported on. He started to see, in particular, he would go through a tollway, or his wife would go through a tollway, and immediately he would have two different hits on his account. It would be the same amount. It would be the same toll. It would be within seconds of each other. And so he, every time, has gotten in the pattern, because this happens for him, he says, several times a month, he'll reach out to TxTag and say, hey, did you notice this? Can you fix it for me? And to TxTag's credit, he says that they resolved the issue fairly quickly for him. His larger problem that he brought up to us is that it continues to happen. It's not as if it happens once, they resolve it, and then systemically he never sees the same issue. He says it's been an ongoing thing that he catches in his bills and has made a habit of going into his account to look for. His question to me, which I think is pointed for our series, is, when are they going to fix it? And that's the big question we've heard from a lot of viewers, is they can understand working through kinks, but when is it going to be a more accurate system?
And not only is it him that's complaining about it, our whole team got more than 700 stories very similar to this, sometimes dealing with very different issues about their billing, but all tied to a Texas Department of Transportation toll road or their TxTag account itself.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. We kind of started from a place of, we were continually, Will, getting emails about TxTag over and over. We kind of were saying, well, we've done this story before, but as they started to accumulate, we thought we need to take a closer look at this. What is really happening with the newer vendors that have come in, and how are they addressing these issues? Is it getting better, or is it pretty much in the same place? And so from there, we took those tips and then started to reach out to some of those folks to hear about their experience. This was one of those folks that we were talking about. But then after that, our director of our investigative team had the idea to crowdsource and figure out, what about people right now? What are their complaints? And so we opened. That's that. The hundreds that we're hearing about, we were able to aggregate 700 new complaints within a month, which crowdsourcing is great, but that's pretty, I'm trying to find the right word.
Substantial, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we ask questions all the time and we'll get, a few responses, but to get hundreds is definitely, I think, demanding that we ask them questions.
Yeah, and I was just looking at our Facebook feed a few moments ago, and thank you all for joining us and being a part of this conversation. But even more complaints are coming there too. So this is not a once and done kind of thing. It's still ongoing for a lot of people. But I wanted to go back to your story, and again, this is the headline you can check out right here. But In it, you all put out a public records request to talk about complaints from the Texas Department of Transportation related to toll-related complaints, and that came back with a lot of interesting information. If you don't mind giving us some insight about what that uncovered.
So we requested, like you said, complaints into TxTag. In the pool of complaints that they sent us and that they produced were largely about being overcharged in some way, shape, or form, whether that be double billing, whether that be some sort of auto pay issue where they have the money in this pot to pay their toll so they don't have to think about it, but they're still being given these written bills, and it's the same for the same toll exchange. And so, but most of them, again, they centered around being overcharged. And for most of these folks, it seemed like it was an ongoing issue. The hard thing is when you're looking at these complaints is everybody's kind of coming from a different situation. And a lot of what we wanted to do was drill down to what was causing it, right? Because TxTag has multiple vendors that handle different parts of their system. They have customer service and billing vendors, but then they have folks that handle back office systems, and that feeds into how people are billed. So a big thing that we tried to take on was to figure out, for every problem that we see in the complaints or the crowdsourcing tips that we're getting, what is the root cause and how is TxTag addressing it?
Maybe point out who the vendor is that TxDOT uses to handle customer service and billing information.
So they use a vendor called TxTag. And in our reporting, TxTag has been assessed some liquidated damages, and essentially think there's a contract, and if you're not meeting the exact parameters of the contract or meeting a certain standard, they could then assess these liquidated damages. We don't know what the damages were for. We tried to get that through public records requests and questions, but we know TxTag is the vendor that handles customer service and billing. And so when you're calling in about some issue that's happened with your TxTag bill, that is who you are usually being connected with.
You also, as part of some of your reporting, talked to the director of TxDOT. What did that conversation entail, and what did he say?
Yes, so we tried really hard to talk to the people who make these decisions and the people who are kind of on the front lines of making sure TxTag works properly. And we were able to talk to him when we went to one of the Transportation Commission hearings, and he talked with us for about 10 or 12 minutes. He has the perspective that these vendors are cleaning up some of the issues that were persisting with a previous vendor that they were not happy with. So he has the perspective that they're having to almost play catch up a bit and kind of clean up some issues that were outstanding. He does believe, based on our conversation, that the vendors currently are doing better than the previous. That's what he told me in that conversation. But he did, when we kind of brought to him some of the records that we were able to get, showing that they had also highlighted issues to their vendors. They had sent letters perhaps saying, we're not happy with this, and this. When we pointed that out, he did say that he's not completely satisfied, that there are things that he feels that they can improve on. But another kind of overture in the conversation was that he does believe that a lot of the issues, or some of the issues rather, that customers are seeing are just habitual customer mistakes, right? Like for auto pay, maybe, your credit card was outdated or something like that. And he kind of has a perspective that this isn't just the vendors, but these are also behaviors that customers have that can lead to larger problems.
And we highlighted the fact that, your story that is already up and live on KXAN.com and is also aired on KXAN News on television was talking about those billing issues, particularly this one man who had been double billed in some instances and was watching his account very, very closely, which is amazing. We hope everybody would do that kind of thing. So he was an ideal customer in that sense. But you have another story that's coming out. Tell us about what that will focus on.
Well, it focuses on just on what we were talking about. It's more accountability focused. So we're, on the one end, we want to hear what the experience of TxTag drivers are. We want to hear what you're experiencing so we can kind of get a better picture of what the larger system issues are. But ultimately, our team is very accountability focused, and we wanted to talk to leaders. So the second piece that you'll see really dives into the answers that TxTag has for us for why these issues are persisting despite having these newer vendors that they do seem happier with.
Everybody, that is investigative reporter Kelly Wiley, and she's been talking about her part in this 14-part series that we're doing called TxTag Troubles, a viewer-driven investigation. And so many of you have shared your complaints, and that really led to all these stories coming together. But Kelly, if you could just give us a sense about what this project is for some people. We talked about a brief synopsis there, but just remind everybody what this is really looking into.
When we started this project, accountability was our big thing. Because if you're a loyal KXAN viewer, you know we've done multiple investigations about TxTag and about issues that people were seeing with, going to collections, over overcharge issues, over double billing issues. So this time, our main focus was to aggregate complaints, stories from TxTag viewers, get a big picture of what's going on in the state, and then take that picture to TxTag and ask questions and ask for answers. So if I could choose one word to sum up this project, that with TxTag, it's accountability and bringing your questions to the leaders.
And this is only the beginning. We have several stories that will be rolling out in the days ahead, including one from me talking about some of the legislative fixes that some of the lawmakers over at the Capitol, not too far from the station, have been talking about to address some of these very issues. And a lot of them have found out now more of the problems that some of the users are using. So you can tune into that. But for now, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. And we'll send you on your way so you can keep on reporting today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everybody, you can check out Kelly's stories along with the others that are a part of the TxTag Troubles investigation, available on KXAN.com. Also access it on the KXAN News mobile app, where you can get all of our coverage right on your fingertips. Thank you all again for watching. I'm Will Dupree in the KXAN Live studio. We will see you back here at another time. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Take care. Enjoy the day.